If you want to get better in marketing and you are starting, then you just have to practice. Do as much as you can. Instead of watching videos, learning, reading, listening, do that, of course. That is a necessary stuff, but don't overdo it. This is the number one mistake that people make. They spend too much time reading, listening, watching instead of doing it themselves, right? So when I was starting SEO, I remember the name of the guy, I think Brad Collin or something, and it was like the shortest SEO literature that I ever read, and it was the very beginning. It was the first ever proper small SEO book that I read, and the guy took like this whole universe and put it inside a few pages. Like, I remember it had like one overview, like what you want, what this SEO thing is, why you should do it, who else is doing it, what's the future. Like, that's the beginning. And then the guy dives into on-page SEO, you know. Then he gives an abstract which covers all the major components. Then he goes into nitty-gritty, like the most basic stuff. And after that, he goes into off-page SEO. And over here, he is covering like all the important stuff like backlinks, how to create backlinks. And even before on page, he also covered like crawlers, algorithm, ranking signals, updates. I didn't need 1000 pages book. I just needed a small manual. And after that, in 1 month, I got my website at the top of the rankings. And by the way, we are talking about like 2007, right? So, and this same thing, this methodology works, right? Sometimes there are books, it is supposed to be a manual, a guide, non-fiction, of course. And then the guy goes into saying, so that day I was thinking about getting a unique coffee that has aroma like X, Y, Z. But then I heard something outside and I looked at the sun. Boy, where is the SEO? Come on. So most of the books, if not most, like many, a lot, they are like this. Okay? So you need to understand what to read, what to listen, what to watch. And then the next step is how to consume it. And the third step is how to utilize it. Sometimes a one line can be used to create books, many books. And sometimes many books can become a one line. So you need to understand that part. And then there is this deconstruct thing, like you should know how to deconstruct some idea, business, structure, anything that exists under the sun. This is like a magical art that very few people can ever possess, and this is a unique thing, right? Anybody can learn from someone watching a 10-hour lecture, but on a very elementary scale. You are sitting under a tree and you are watching birds and you are finding an equation like, hey, it can work like this. You didn't open any book. Anyways, so long story short, these are some things that you need to understand very early on. Otherwise it will become difficult, and you don't want to make it difficult. Actually, your aim should be that whatever I think is difficult or is really difficult, that I want to become good at. But of course, you have to fall in love with that thing. And then a time will come when it will be like a walk in the park, you know, like putting butter that melted enough that you can put it on a bread easily, you know. So learning is an art and a science. Learning to learn is the first thing. You can't just go into learning straight away. How would you learn when you haven't learned how to learn? You know, these are not just words, these are like meaningful things that you need to keep in your mind. Some people are born with these ideas where they will see 5% and they will be able to expand and unlock and extract this compressed methods. This is like superpower, man. You know, you need to learn these things. And same goes with SEO. Now SEO is like a small thing, but I'm literally giving you something that will help you throughout your life. Even if you forget me, you will remember these things. So similarly, like SEO, there are other channels in marketing, digital marketing, right? Advertising, aka also known as SEM, PPC, performance marketing, media buying, you know. Then, of course, there is social media, content marketing, email marketing, influencer marketing, affiliate marketing. The story keeps going on. It will kept on going. But you got the major points, like what is being discussed here. So if you want to do something big, then you are also a researcher. So you see what's happening here. First you learned how to learn. Now it means you are a smart dude, a smart girl. The implementation and the execution part, that is the second one. But right now you are doing the essentials, like what is floating around. Okay, if you go and search top 10 SEO tactics, you will find literally thousands, maybe millions of articles and videos, you know, everything. But they're all talking about the same thing. Like 90% of these people repeating the same methods, techniques, ideas. Yes, you should know how to filter the best, know what is the information that is authentic, fast, actionable, still fresh, which is gonna help with the SEO, that is gonna help you in a long term. Okay, that is one thing. But the third part is actually research. You already know what's floating around. Now you wanna come up with something new. Okay, so imagine the best organization that exists. They have these different departments. Now you as an individual is every department. Okay, and no one ever tell you that you can't do this or it is too much. Do you know this? don't try, don't waste your time, all these negative, toxic things. Of course, you gotta be smart enough to learn how to optimize your time, spend it wisely, right? But the research thing is the purest, most beautiful thing. You will get addicted to researching. And the philosophy is a catalyst that has helped many people. So, there are right brain and left brain people. Like some people are good at creative side and less effective at the analytical side, even though you can develop either of them or both of them, it's totally fine. But you need to come up with these ideas, like, okay, and then there are different methods, right? Like there is philosophy. Okay, you're going by philosophical mind. Okay, now the worm is moving or the birds are flying, the sun comes every day. Now what does it have to do with research? You know, maybe I can go into this topic. If you find it intriguing, then I'll cover it. It's definitely a deep cave, a beautiful cave. You never know what you're gonna find inside of it. Then the second one is like putting your mind in another mind and taking their mind and put it inside your head. So from the aspect of SEO, you need to think like, okay, if I was the engineer or strategist at the search engine company like Google or Bing or whoever, what would I do? So you need to start from the goals. Okay, if I am Google search, as Google search, my goal is to find best results and make money. So, and the third one is remove bad results, irrelevant results, any result that will snatch the user away and take to another search engine, right? So you start planning from that, and it's a deep rabbit hole with a lot of gems and gold, crystal, or everything nice. And when you start using that, of course, you need to take it through different filters to further make sure that the information is the best one, right? And then you can find ideas yourself. Though now all the 90%, actually more than 90%, 95% of the stuff that internet is filled with, now you don't need that. You already have that information. That was like essential stuff. Everyone knows that. If you know the same thing that millions of other SEOs or digital marketers know, then what are you bringing on the table? There is no new cuisine. You are putting the same ingredients, right? So that's where research part comes in. And like I said, this is an addicted type of a thing. Like you will get addicted, right? So I think I covered some great points, like learning how to learn, execution, and research. Tell me what you think. Where do you think you need more clarity? And yeah, I would love to further explain and expand. So let me know. Thank you.